Hello fabulous ones, welcome back to my channel. I am Marlo Keenan, and if you're new here, welcome to the fabulous family. Today we are going to be doing my most used top 10 eyeshadow palettes of 2019. Yes, I know I'm a little late on the video. It was supposed to go up last month, but here we are. So if you want to know my top 10 most used eyeshadow palettes, then continue to watch. Let's get into the video. All right. We are going in no particular order. Now, what I want to say is that all of these palettes may not have been released in 2019. I think most of them have been. Some of them are just palettes that I still continue to use the most regardless. So again, in no particular order, the first palette that I want to talk about is this Nubian by Juvia's Place. This is an everyday palette, and I use this the most because you guys know that I wasn't really wearing makeup every day, but when I was going to work, this is the palette that I usually went to because it's all neutral, it blends out great. You know, this is truly an everyday palette, and I found myself using it a lot, especially using it for these two shades right here for transitions. Even if I did go into another palette, I found myself mixing these two for transitional shades all the time. So I really do love this palette. The next palette I want to talk about is the Blue Blood palette. Now I know this came out last year and it was like in January because me and my friends were obsessed with getting it and trying to get online before it sold out. It was a hot mess. This is the first palette that I ever did that with. It was crazy. And you guys know I love blue. I love blue. And this is just such a beautiful palette. I mean, I can get this coloring right here for your inner corner off the chain. The blue right here, Ocean Ice, you can't even probably tell, but I have dug into it. It's like it got an indentation in it. It is so beautiful. Deceased, Blue Blood, these two shades here used a lot. I think the only shade that I haven't used is Princess and Wealthy, which is on the two side corners over here, and I don't know why, I just haven't used them yet, but I absolutely love this palette. The next palette I want to talk about, and I just got really late to the game in the middle of last year, Marvelous Mauves. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm. I got this in a BoxyCharm. Oh my god, this is a very beautiful mauve palette, and guys, when I tell you this created such a beautiful look, I was live in my bathroom actually when I first used it, and it is a dream. The shadows blend out so perfectly, and I love the color story in terms of it goes from light to darkest. This is a one-shot palette if you want to just stay with these tones. It is so beautiful. This for the highlight of my inner corner is just gorgeous. I just absolutely love it. So I was really sleeping on these, and I think I'm gonna go get some more because I know they have several of this theme type of palette, but just different shades. So I'm looking forward to getting another one like this. The next palette I want to talk about is by Midas Cosmetics, and it is the High Times palette. I'm going to open it up for you, and these are the shades. It's a green tone palette. These greens blend out beautifully, and I love green too. There's several looks on my channel using green, and this shimmer, the gelato right here, woo child, love it, love it, love it. I mean, and I feel like sometimes depending on the green is really hard. I don't want to say hard to create because I don't know how to create shadows, but I do know from experience that sometimes they're challenging to blend. It depends on the shadow, and these have been formulated beautifully, and they don't give me any trouble at all. I really do. This is like my favorite green palette to date. Okay, the next palette that I have here was released definitely, I know for a fact, last year, and it is the Tati Beauty palette. Again, another palette that is everyday. You could go dramatic, you go as dramatic as you want, and for the simple fact why is because you have your glitters, you have your shimmers, you have, you know, your sequins, I mean your metallics. It is just so beautiful. And again, what I love about it is the color story. You could go up the row, up the row, up the row to create a look that's absolutely stunning. Every shadow in here I actually touched and used. Okay, I think, yeah, no, except for this, I didn't use Story. I haven't used these two, you know what I mean? But everything else I've used. This is a really great palette. I know I'm going to be digging into this a lot. This is a palette that I would definitely hit pan on for sure. Okay, the next palette that I have was definitely also released last year, and it's the Jawbreaker palette. This palette is definitely like my top 5. This is my top 5, point blank in the period of 2019. And I was getting into this, especially with this cotton candy one. I love this cotton candy one. There's an indentation there. I did not use the yellow yet, but I will be using that yellow. I obviously use Lemon Drop because I can see I use Lemon Drop. I can't even stop looking at like this. Okay, I know it looks crazy because you got all these colors, but you could do a lot with these. And then what I've been doing with this palette particularly, I would do like my one shadow look with a blown out look, one shadow, just a blown out one shadow look, and it's beautiful. This Brain Freeze, I still yet have to try that one, but Jawbreaker, beautiful in the inner corner. Also Virgin, beautiful in the inner corner. This is a freaking beautiful palette. The formula is amazing. Licorice, I did a one shadow blown out look with this one. It's so beautiful. I'm telling you guys, this is definitely like my top favorite of the last year's palettes that were released. I love this palette. Okay, the next palette I have is definitely an older palette. It was released years ago, but it's a palette that I go to all the time last year. I still go to it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good palette. ABH Modern Renaissance, you know, this is such, I just love this palette. I'm hitting pan on a few. It's just so pretty. And again, with this type of palette, you could definitely just do everyday looks. They blend out good. They're a little powdery, fallout and all that stuff, but that's so, you know, traditional with Natasha Beverly Hills palettes, especially these ones. But I absolutely love this palette, and this is like by far definitely the top 5. The next palette I have, was not released last year, but it's Violet Voss. I absolutely love her shadows, you know. My experience with them thus far has been amazing. I think this is the first palette that I even received or got from Violet Voss. Beautiful. Again, everyday looks. You could get a dramatic look out of here too, especially using the teddy bear, the wine and dine. You could cut the crease and then put ploof right here. If you cut the crease with those 2 darker shades in outer corner, and they blend out beautifully, smoothly, not a lot of kickback. Wine and dine I think does actually, but for the most part they're beautiful. Now the only ones I haven't used was hashtag, and that's because it's orange, and y'all know how I feel about orange. I went to this palette a lot in 2019. Okay, the next palette I want to talk about is the Conspiracy palette. Oh my goodness, I do love it. I'm not gonna lie. Again, it's just one of those palettes that, you know what I'm saying, that you could create a dramatic look, you could create everyday look, especially with the top row, obviously, because the top row here, well, it's just gonna show up the bottom row for you guys how I'm holding it, but the bottom right here, you know, that's everyday looks, point blank in a period, every day. But then you can have a little pop of colors. When I tell you Diet Cola is off the chain, is one of my favorites. Illuminati, I absolutely love that one. This food videos, I like that one. This one's a little powdery, but that's okay. I still love the shade. The only ones that I really haven't used is obviously Cheese Dust right here, and that's because you guys know how I feel about orange. But in any event, this was a very good palette that came out in 2019, full show. Okay, last but not least is my OG palette. This is a palette that I travel with, you know, when I just want to bring one palette. It's the Jaclyn Hill. I mean, the OG palette. And primarily because it has a pop of color, it has your neutrals and all that jazz, and it has a black shadow if I wanted to do a smoke out look. This is a one-stop shop palette, period. I know this is an OG palette. It didn't come out in 2019, but this is my go-to palette. When I travel, you know, and when I just take it out, I use this the most. I can't say nothing else about this palette. I mean, it's got, especially with the browns, like these right here, these cool tone browns and all that, I usually, what I do is I mix them. I mix these two together, mix these two together, you know, just to do it, because I like to mix, okay? And it's helping me get through the shadows anyway when you do it that way. But this is absolutely a beautiful palette. I'm telling you, travel, the whole nine, I absolutely love it. Alright guys, those are the palettes that I mostly use in 2019. I look forward to this year. I look forward to seeing if I'm going to utilize more of my palettes in my stash, which I am because I'm on a no-buy. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically taking some palettes out, using them for a whole week, and then switching it out so I can get through my collection. And so I can utilize what I have. And this is nothing compared to what I have. I have to go back in my collection and get some of these older palettes that I really do love, so I could either A, fall in love with them again, and just to use them, period. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know some of your favorite palettes that you liked in 2019, and let me know some palettes that you look forward to working with in 2020. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you guys already know. Until my next video, y'all. Bye-bye now.